Hi there, folks. So this video is going to show you how to create a second level on a house in Revit, on something in Revit. Let's see. I think I had this already done here. We'll just take a look at what it will look like when it is done. Oh, let's get into a 3D view. I can click this little house up here. There we go. So this will show you how to add a second floor. There's something wonky going on with the height of this roof here, but that has to do with the top constraint. Oop, that's not what I wanted. Let's go up to level 3. All right, that's not solving that problem. We're not going to worry about that. The point is we're going to create this set of walls and the floor here on an existing house. So this is the model that we will work with right here. This one does not have anything in it except the first floor right now. So I'm just going to close these out. So couple simple steps. Nope, we're not going to save that. You should already have a level 2 over here. If you don't, and I'll show this again later, you can always create another level by going into one of your elevations and holding control on the keyboard. And you notice a little plus appears when I do that. And then if you drag one of these levels and you drag it to about 20 feet, or you go in here and click to change that to 20, or whatever, this is for level 3, it'll create another level on top of that. But you should already have a level 2. So we'll click on that. All right, so now I am in my level 2 floor plan. If I have nothing selected, I should be able to see the gray. It's called the underlay, and it's basically allowing you to see the layers or the levels that are below that, the floor plans really. And this makes sense. Our base level, which is the one that we are at, the base level is the bottom. It's at the base, so we can see as low as level 1. The top level is level 2, so we can see as high as level 2, and we are looking downwards into all of that. So that is how we want to think about that, and you can change these as you need. So once we're in here, we're just going to add walls, and then we will add the floor. I've found that it is better to do it in that order because it makes it so your walls are being cut properly by the floor, which will come up a lot more when we want to add things like siding or patterns to the outside of the wall. So I'm just going to click on wall. I am going to make sure that I have my wall type picked here. You all should be using a different thickness of wall for your outside. I usually do 6-inch walls on the outside and then one of these like the 4 7/8 interior partition for the inside. But whatever you're using, pick the wall type that corresponds to the outside of your house. I have also been finding that it's better if we use the wall center line. In some cases, this might not be the case. If you're using a foundation, you have like a 12-inch wall or something like that. If it's not the same thickness as the walls below it, you may not want to use the wall center line, but that's going to work for here. Let's check these different numbers here. So our height, we'll just leave that the height. It's going to go up to level 3. If you didn't add a level 3 like I just did, and we don't have a floor plan for it yet, if you didn't add it, you might say unconnected. That's totally fine. You can leave it on either one of those. We can change it later. We'll leave chain on. We'll leave everything else the same. Okay, so location line, center. And what this is going to allow is we can go pick line, and then it actually changes some things, but our key things don't change, our key options. We're just going to hover around, and you should, if you get close enough, you should be able to see it pop up. If you're far away, you have to wiggle the mouse just right, but you want to zoom in a bit, and the center of the underlying wall will light up. You click there, and it is going to place a wall right where you click, and it's going to use the center line of the wall below as the center line for the wall above. So we'll go through, we'll do this, zooming in. Now, it's not going to keep your windows, but that's good because you're probably not going to have like a front door on your second floor, right? So we're going to go around like this until we have all our walls in there. And now watch this. If I come back to my 3D view, bam, I have walls on the second floor. And we are noticing here the walls seem to be flipped. I can tell because I have siding on this. Later on, you might not discover it until later. That's okay. If you just click on the wall and hit the space bar, it doesn't look like much happened until you unselect it, but you'll notice, okay, it has flipped that wall. I can do it to this one. What we could also do, I think, if I hit tab once, it picks the chain of walls, so all the walls that are connected. And then if I hit space, it flips them all simultaneously. So that can be a quick way to flip those walls if that's what you run into. But you may not even have that problem yet if you don't have any siding on your walls. So last but not least, let's put a floor in here so that it's not just like a death drop down to the first floor there. So we might remember how to do floors. If you don't, go find that video on that. But I'm going to click the floor button and I'm going to just pick walls. Oh, good. It's already picked. I'm going to pick all of my exterior walls. Bam, bam, bam. We're going to make sure extend into wall to core is picked. That's what allows the floor to kind of go and penetrate the wall and just go out to the siding, which is realistic to how you would actually construct a house. I'll click my check mark. I like to attach the walls that go up to this floor's level to the bottom of the floor. What that means is that initially the walls were trying to go up to where the floor actually starts, like the top surface of the floor. This will shorten the walls that are underneath, like the interior walls on the inside. When we come back out to our 3D view, we're going to see again, there's this funky little space. So this is what I'm talking about. It's bringing the floor out until it's out to the outer core, which is just underneath the layer of shingles that I had on there. We can fix this by picking one wall. We know the floor is a foot deep, but you can always check if you don't really know how deep your floor is. You can extend one of those down and our base offset, whoops, let me pick that wall again, just change to -1 foot. Compared to this wall, it should be 0. Watch, ready, I'll pick this one, 0. So what I can do now is pick the chain of walls again by hovering over one wall and hitting tab until all the walls on that floor light up. And I'm just going to change the base offset for all of those walls. Whoops. You have to make sure your cursor stays in this box to -1, because as soon as you move your cursor out, watch, it's going to update everything. So if you move it out before you finish typing, it will update it on accident. And that makes it so our floor is now like concealed behind the siding. There's a little bit of a line there, but it's not as apparent and it won't show up in renderings. And there you have it. Now you have your level 2 exterior walls put in. If you wanted to line up some of the walls with the interior walls with the lower floor, you could, but presumably you're not going to want to be seeing, you're not going to want everything to be exactly the same on the second floor. So you can still have that there. If you are finding this distracting and you don't want to be seeing the underlay anymore, I believe we can switch this to none, and that'll make it so just your level 2 is visible. If you want to come back, you can turn your base level back onto level 1 to show the base level, which is always the bottom. Base is always the bottom. So that should be how to add floors. I was thinking in class that I would make the same video here, show how to add like a foundation or like a basement wall, but I think I'm going to do that separately because it turned out to be more confusing and difficult than I thought. So that's all for this. So I hope this helps.